I've been receiving many questions about my hypermobile elbows. People want to know, Alex, what are the implications of having this condition? And how did you remedy any possible pain that might have arisen? So, in this video, I want to share my experiences with having a rather exaggerated case of hypermobility in the elbows. First thing I want to mention is that I've had this problem my entire life. Ever since I was a little boy, I noticed that my arms look different from other people. I especially noticed this when they would point at objects or people. I would look at their arm and I'd be like, damn, that doesn't look like my arm. So a normal person would be pointing like this, right? And my arm would go, boom! See that? Boom! I just broke my arm! That's what happened. And I'm sorry if I just scared you right now. And I never enjoyed this condition. I thought it looked weird when my arms would hyperextend, and I got unnecessary pain, and I also believed that it prevented me from maximizing my arm development because I was unable to contract the proper way. A lot of the times when I would perform certain movements, the patterns would be distorted. I especially noticed this on the incline barbell press. Like the incline barbell press, I'm not physically capable of doing it with correct form. It's impossible. Whenever I do it, my elbow hyperextends in front of the body and it creates a massive moment arm. So I don't even do incline barbell presses. I only do it with the dumbbell, which is perfectly fine since I can adjust. But that's been a problem. The overhead press has been a problem, especially at the lockout, because whenever I'm about to reach this position here, the elbows hyperextend in front of the body, which again makes it harder to lock weights out. So that's been a problem. And also for deadlifts, when I would pull off the floor, especially in the conventional stance, the elbows would hyperextend, causing me to tip forward and turn into an ugly stiff leg deadlift with terrible, terrible leverages. So these are some of the problems that I've experienced. In addition, I've had all kinds of elbow pain, in particular when doing things like extensions. Extensions always gave me pain. I remember lifting light weights with a barbell, I got pain. Then I would try doing a dumbbell, I got pain. I tried every possible variation. In fact, I even did tricep push downs and I would get elbow pain from it. Basically, this has been a huge problem my entire life, but I've overcome most of these issues because I did a lot of research and I tried out different things. And the main thing that benefited me in terms of the pain factor was doing connective tissue work. That really changed the game for me. Back when I ran minimalist programs, I had all kinds of muscular imbalances and joint pain, especially in the elbows. And I believe that this had to do with a lack of exercise selection that was specifically targeting the lagging area. So the way that I corrected the pain was by doing band pushdowns for very high volume at home. I often do 100 to 300 repetitions in one shot. I'll break it up into sets. I did that. I did band curls for high reps. And also I did these. Open your hand. This will work the extensors. A lot of guys, they got too much flexor strength. They're too tonic. And they develop all kinds of golfer's elbow and things like that. So I found that opening up my hands with the bands every single day really helped. So those three things, honestly, that changed the game. That totally changed the game. The moment I started doing connective tissue work, the elbow pain went away. Now, regards to strength development, I always noticed that I had lockout issues, no matter what. And whenever I would look up research, especially like on powerlifting forums and videos, people would say that I was making shit up, that it was a fabrication of my mind, that it was impossible for a raw guy to have a lockout issue. But I knew that they were wrong. I absolutely knew that they were wrong because they didn't have my condition. And for me, I was always fast off the chest. I was always explosive. I had a nice pair of pecs. But I would fail lockouts constantly. Like, I would fail the lockout. Legit, the last part. I'm not talking middle of the chest. I would fail actual lockouts. And the way that I corrected that, honestly, was with bands and chains. It was 100% with bands and chains. The moment I started doubling bands on my bench press, whenever I started using on my overhead, any exercise, man, it completely changed the game for me because it allowed me to overload the joint angles, which I had trouble with. The joint angles where my hypermobility came into play. And listen, I don't care what anybody says. This worked. They don't have my condition. They don't know my body. I know for a flaming fact that using bands and chains fixed my lockout issues. Now I don't really have this problem anymore. I'm just like a regular guy who I get weak off the chest, if you will, on the bench. The only exception would be the overhead press. So I still have lockout issues on that, and I don't think it's going to go away personally, as well as the incline press. But everything else, man, my extensions are on point. My flat benching is on point. My decline benching is on point. My floor press is on point. Everything's on point. And I credit that 100% to bands and chains and the overloads. The slingshot helped me. Pin presses helped me. Basically, hitting that last lockout portion where my elbows hyperextend made all the difference for me. And that's really all I had to do in terms of strength development. So that's been my experience with hypermobile elbows. It's not been fun. It's been absolute hell. I wish I never had this problem. But at least you could say it was a learning experience. By having this condition, it allows me to give advice on the subject. I can speak on something that other people can't. I think I'm one of the few guys in the fitness community that has such an exaggerated case. But yeah, that's what it's been. And I hope that a lot of you guys understand now that I'm not just talking out of my ass. This is a real problem. This is a deformity in the elbows. I remember guys would try to armbar me back in the day. It wouldn't work. They'd be like, what's wrong with this kid? It's a deformity, man. It's not normal. So when I say certain things, it's not an excuse. It's actual fact. It's a fact backed up by a structural deformity. So I hope that you guys appreciate that and recognize that if I can do this, like if I can get away with doing heavy overloads and I don't have any joint pain in my elbows, despite such an obvious problem, then who are you complaining about elbow pain? Let's get real. How about we get back to proper training? We do the connective tissue work, we address our weaknesses, and we eliminate all the joint pain. If I can get away with doing all the stuff and I have no elbow pain, you can do it too. Trust me, yes you can. Yes, you absolutely can. So, that's my experience. Hope this gave you some insight. And I'll talk to you all next time.